Hi guys, so grab your Octopus V1.1. Very important, you're gonna have to change the jumpers. You should have all the jumpers in when you got it, but just only put the second, right? The second one right there. And then the bottom row here should be empty. I would leave this one on because we're gonna go ahead and flash Klipper. This will allow us to talk to the Octopus Pi. Sorry, not Octopus Pi. To the Octopus V1.1 from our Raspberry Pi. We'll take this out after we flash it. There is a reset button up here we'll need to use later. You do not need a micro SD to flash. We're gonna go ahead and flash it just using a USB cable. It's just simpler, and I've had trouble with the SD card. I do have a Raspberry Pi 3B Plus on hand here. I'm just gonna take it out. This did not come with the FormBot kit. This actually came with my other kit. You can use a Pi 4B, Pi 3B, should be just fine. And didn't come with any heat sinks. That's fine. I'm just gonna use it as it is. For right now, you don't need to do anything. Just go ahead and use the cable. You're gonna need to connect the Raspberry Pi to the USB Type-C on the Octopus V1.1, and you're gonna need to power your Raspberry Pi 3B. For this particular dude, it's a USB Type, USB, micro USB. You might have 4B, then you can use USB Type B. I got these giant ass cables. They're so long, but they should work just fine. I don't really need to power this on yet. You'll need a micro SD card to install Mainsail and stuff. So let's go grab a micro SD card. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and install Mainsail, not Octopus Pi, on the Raspberry Pi. You're gonna go ahead and download Raspberry Pi Flasher. So go to Raspberry Pi Imager. Grab the Raspberry Pi Imager. Download for your appropriate, I got Windows here. Download for Windows. And go ahead and insert your micro SD card into your micro SD card slot. This particular Surface Pro computer does not have a micro SD, nor oh, it has an SD card slot. Yeah, so I gotta insert it there. Okay, once you got the imager, go ahead and install it. And there is an option to install Mainsail here. If you go into not custom. If you go into Raspberry Pi other, no. If you go into other general purpose OS, somewhere here. No, other specific purpose OS. There we go. Go to 3D printing, and you'll be able to install this Octopi main. I've had trouble with it, so I don't actually recommend this option. Before you write, go into settings. Enable hostname Raspberry Pi.local. Enable SSH. Use password authentication. Go ahead and set your username and password here. Also, configure wireless LAN if you want. I'm gonna go ahead and do that here. That's all you gotta set, and we're gonna go ahead and save. All right. And this will set the Wi-Fi and also admin password for your Raspberry Pi. We'll be back. This should take about 10 minutes. Go have a coffee. Okay, when that's done, go ahead and take it out. Put the micro SD card in your Raspberry Pi and then connect it to your computer via USB cable. You don't have to connect to your Octopus V1.1 yet. Go ahead and type Raspberry Pi.local on your computer. No, it's not working. If it doesn't connect, go ahead and download Nmap type nmap. It's a free program. It's an open source program, safe program. Go ahead and download the latest version for Windows, Linux, whatever. And once you install it, go ahead and open up nmap. And we're gonna just go ahead and find the actual address of our thing here. You're gonna first go ahead and find the IP address of your computer. So go ahead and go to start, type cmd, type ipconfig, and you should have your local IPv4 address. It starts with 192.168.4.5 for mine. Everyone's different depending on your network. We're gonna go ahead and use this three values, 192.168.4.5. Do right click to copy, and you're gonna change the profile on the nmap to the regular scan, and make the target. There we go. You could actually choose it, but basically the first three numbers, 192.168.4.5, and then add .0/24. Hit scan. And this is gonna scan all of your IP addresses. Right, and I got a bunch of addresses here. You can see Raspberry Pi. It's because I've got a multiple printers. I already actually know which one it is because I usually just use mine. So you probably have just one. So go ahead and copy the IP address for it. So mine is gonna be 192.168.4.5.37. If your Raspberry Pi shows up, then that's gonna be your address, but I know that's for my other one. So we're gonna use 192.168.4.5.237. Now these IP addresses do change if you power off your Raspberry Pi and on. Sometimes they'll stay same for weeks. I actually usually stay same for weeks, sometimes months. But sometimes I turn it off and then turn it back on. It's on another IP. But you can use nmap to do this. So let's go ahead and connect it to it. So you're just gonna go into extensions and open up Secure Shell and hit the connection dialog. And here you're gonna go ahead and type whatever you set your name earlier when you installed it. So mine is that. This is just gonna be the name of it. So I'm just gonna put it Raspberry Pi. That's just name, it doesn't matter. The next one is gonna be your username. You set it. I set it to max, and then go ahead and enter the IP address you found in nmap. Go ahead and enter, and it's gonna say blah blah blah. Say yes, and then go ahead and enter the password you used earlier. Okay, actually set it to Pi. So I did connect it to it. Here we're gonna go ahead and use Kiao. Or Kiao, I forgot. Okay. Kiao Mainsail. Kiao, we're gonna go ahead and use Kiao Mainsail to install. It's really easy to do, so let me actually just go ahead and do it like this. Once you're in shell, it's really easy. Just do git clone this thing here, copy and paste. Oop, right click. Ew, right click. Right click will paste it in the SSH for print. And just go ahead and copy this. Right click, boom, that will install it. There we go. So this is a short method. So you see nothing's installed, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit 1. Install Klipper. Use the recommended version 1. Number of instances, I would just set up 1 if you're this is the first time. You can always change it later. This will install Klipper, all right, just on your Raspberry Pi, the Klipper running on your Raspberry Pi. Now we're gonna actually install the firmware onto your Octopus V1.1. So yeah, probably the hardest part for beginners, the networking. Like I said, I've been doing networking for maybe over 20 years. I used to work as an IT manager, so this is like a piece of cake. I just go into my router. The best way is just go into your router and it will show you all of your IP addresses with the host name. And then I just plug that into SSH and boom. But yeah, the best way is to work with the IP address. Now, if you want to set this to be able to be accessed outside your house, outside your office, and you'll have to set up port forwarding on your router. Again, you will need an access to your router, or you can use also like a paid DDNS service if you don't have access to that. But it's just, there's a bunch of ways you can do VPN. But we're getting into a whole bunch of headaches there. Just try to have somebody who's good at networking help you. But I can basically access all my 3D printers anywhere in the world, and they're secured with a password. So they can't just access my printer and start printing stuff that, you know. Now there is a version of the Mainsail on the Raspberry Pi Imager, but it does not work out of the box. When I tried it, some other people have reported the same thing. I don't even know if it actually works, but this is short method. It's easy way. You just need to install Kia, and you can get everything installed working out of the box. The most important thing is having your networking working, Wi-Fi working, and that was just not working for me out of the box. And I spent like 2 hours doing that. I was like, screw this, and then I just used the manual method, and it just works the first time. Now, if you're using other types of Raspberry Pi, now there's like Orange Pi, which I have. You can use this method to flash it also, because this is sort of independent of the platform you have. I think it should work. I'll have another video with the Orange Pi. I just haven't got to it, but maybe I'll make a real quick video. Will that work? It's a touch screen. This is actually my old laptop from a few years ago. I really love the Surface, but the processor have gotten so much faster. This computer, only thing is the battery just runs out kind of quick, and the power is just not as good as even smaller computers now. But it's still very good touch screen. I like it. It's gonna take a while. I'll be back. Duh. Okay, it's gonna ask you add user Pi groups now. Say yes. Okay, Klipper has been set up. Okay, let's go ahead and install Moonraker. Hit 2. Yes. Kia makes it very simple to install this. It's just all click, click, click. So I'll be back when this is done. Hi guys, when you're done with it, you can go ahead and either install Mainsail or Fluid. I'm using Mainsail, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit Mainsail 3. You'll notice it's actually installed Nginx, which I use for all of my websites. I'm been a webmaster for over 20 years now. So this will install, okay. Macros, go ahead and install yes, say yes. You want the macros. Okay, also go ahead and install Klipper Screen. That's going to give you the touchscreen UI for your touchscreen. So hit 5 and install Klipper Screen. And we are pretty much done, and our new Mainsail should be up and running now. You can actually probably check that. So go ahead and type your IP address on here, 192. For mine it's going to be 45.237. And it should be already running. Look, yeah, it's already running. But obviously you're gonna get an error, so don't worry about it. That's because we didn't set up any configs. But if you're getting this, then you have stuff running already, which is great. So you will need to edit some files to make it work. Yeah, so your Mainsail is working. Now we just need to do some coding and install the Klipper firmware onto your Octopus V1.1. I keep getting confused between the Octopus Pi, which is software that you use for a Klipper for as a graphic UI for my Prusa printers, and then you got the Octopus V1.1, the hardware here. So it's very confusing. So while this is going, why is a Raspberry Pi awesome? I used to build a bunch of Bitcoin miners, and I would run them off old laptops running Ubuntu. Now even old laptops will take up 20-30 watts. You can run these Bitcoin miners off the Raspberry Pi at like less than 5 watts, or whatever how many watts it is. It's a very low power computer, so you can leave it on 24/7. It's very reliable. There's very little thing to break. You can just make a very nice case for it. So it's a very nice super mini computer that you can use to run a lot of things, including 3D printers. So really love this Raspberry Pi, and I've been working with Linux for most of my life, over 20 years again. Everything over 20 years. So I really love Ubuntu, Linux, Debian, Raspberry is actually off. They're all pretty much the same thing. They're all Linux. I mean, slightly different. I've worked with CentOS. Ubuntu is actually not my favorite. Debian's not my favorite. I'm like more of a CentOS guy, because I've been running hundreds of thousands of websites before. Now I'm down to maybe 20. Still a lot. Okay, Klipper screen successfully installed. So Klipper screen should work out of the box, I think. Maybe more configs, but the program is installed. Just double check our website's still working. Yeah, it's working fine. You're gonna have to add the actual address of your Octopus V1.1 via LSUSB, and then it will start working. Alright guys, everything's done. Hit B. Sorry, I just missed this step. Hit B, and then you'll go back to the main menu, and it will show you Klipper installed, Moonraker installed, Mainsail installed. Fluid does not have to be installed because you installed Mainsail. Klipper screen installed. Should be good. Hit Q, and boom, you're ready to go. Just leave it alone. Leave it connected. We're gonna flash now Klipper firmware onto the Octopus V1.1. All you're gonna do is go ahead and connect the USB Type-C to the USB port on your Raspberry Pi, and that will power up your Octopus V1.1, so long as you have that jumper in there. Okay, leave that alone. And I forgot the directions for how to flash this, so let me just go look it up. Flash Klipper via USB. Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and type CD, enter, type CD Klipper. Alright. I think it's already in there. Let me see, just do ls. Oh no, it's not in there. Just type make clean and make menu config. Okay, I'm just gonna copy this here because it's been a while. I flashed last time. I'm gonna cheat a little bit, guys. How am I supposed to remember everything? Okay, enable extra level configuration options. Change the microcontroller to STM32. Model is gonna be STM32F446. Right. 32 kilobytes bootloader, that's fine. Clock reference is going to be 12. And USB on PA11, PA12. Go look on your actual chip to see which one. Mine is ends in 446. Yeah, so that's right. So V1.1 should be, but you could double check it. Simply go on your microcontroller, and it should have the actual name on the chip, the big chip there. So double check you have it set at the right chip, and we're all good to go. Hit escape, hit Y to save configuration, and we're gonna type make. This will compile our thing here. Now you can also do this in Mainsail. You can totally do this in Mainsail, but doing it manually is great also. I think Mainsail you have to actually connect it to. No, maybe you can't the first time. So there's two. Before this is done, when this is done, it's gonna actually send it out to the out directory. You should have a new Klipper.bin in your out directory. So you can use the SD card install. I don't recommend it. It's just more steps. You can just use the jumper, which is really easy. Install the boot 0 jumper and LS USB, and it's gonna be in DFU mode. And you're gonna just flash. That's it. The actual command here. Yeah. It's gotta be in Klipper directory and flash it. We don't even actually have to check for anything else. So as soon as this is done, it's flashing. Actually, you don't even need Octopus Pi insert it right now, I think. So it's making the firmware. So it created out Klipper.bin, you're good to go. Now you're gonna unplug it, and then you're gonna use the jumper. And there's the DFU mode jumper, or boot 0 jumper. Put the jumper on, plug it back in, and go back here. You're gonna do LS USB, and you should see a DFU mode. See that right there? And you're gonna copy over this particular dude. So just copy over make flash equal all the way there. I'm gonna copy that and do right click into the here, and I'm gonna select the 0483 DF11. That will select it, and do right click, and that'll do make flash underscore device equal 0483, the device of the thing, and hit enter. And if you don't get any errors, that's it. It's so easy to flash without an SD card. So see how quicker that was? Otherwise you have to reconnect it, and then you reconnect it. No, you have to copy it into the SD card. Actually, you'll have to pull it. You have to use WinECP to pull the file out, put it in the SD card, put it in, and that sucks to do. So I think it worked. So all I'm gonna do is unplug, and I'm gonna get it out of the DFU mode. Okay, now it's out. I'm gonna plug it back in and go back here and type LS USB, and you should be Klipper, something with Klipper in it. No. Oh, you know what? I gotta do this thing here. You gotta do LS device by ID like that. Sorry, I hit the wrong one. But let me just do LS USB, what it says. So it says OpenMoko, type LS space /dev/serial/by-ID. Do I get Klipper? Yes! It says USB Klipper. So I use the wrong commands, not LS USB. You have to do it by ID. So now it's flashed, Klipper, and this is exactly why I told you guys to install everything before you put it on the damn machine. It's a lot easier to do, and you can just power everything off the Raspberry Pi. But mine is ready to go. It's working. I just gotta set up the actual ID. That we'll do in printer config. But we're not done yet. We're done with the software parts. But all I'm gonna do is unplug everything here. I don't need my laptop, so I'll just put the laptop over here. And the last part we're gonna do is the fun part. We're gonna go ahead and install the drivers.